Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Maz channel. Today I'm going to be making a video about something that I live with. It's my heart condition, which is called SVT, or Supraventricular Tachycardia. Now I don't want my channel to be all about this kind of thing or anything like that, but I did have an attack of it about 2 days ago, and that's what has inspired me to make this video, purely because I know there'll be other people out there that have got a similar thing, and I thought it might help them get a bit more information about it and not to feel quite so alone, and just, yeah, we'll let other people know a bit more about me and a bit more about the condition. I must just say that I'm not a medical person in any shape or form, not a doctor, so this video isn't intended to be a diagnostic video. I mustn't be taken as medical advice either, so if you have any symptoms like this, you must go and see your doctor. So a couple of days ago when I had the attack, I actually made a short little vlog clip just to show you how it affected me, with the intention of editing it, but I have just left those few little bits in just to show you how tired I was and how I couldn't find the right words for anything or think straight. So I was going to show you that video in a few moments, and then go into like a longer video about the condition. So yeah, without further ado, here's the video from the other day. Hi guys, just thought I'd film this little impromptu vlog video today. Tonight it's now 9:56 in the evening, and I thought I'd make this part of my channel because it is a part of my life that I wish wasn't a part of my life. So I've had an attack of SVT today, which is my heart condition. So this is where I've been for most of the afternoon when it started. Oh, sorry, I look really rough. I've turned the camera around. Yeah, it's a condition called SVT. I've actually had an attack today, and was started about I have actually had an attack. I'm going to make this as part of a bigger video where I actually go into what my condition is, so I won't go into it right this second. It is actually an arrhythmia, which means an irregular heartbeat. It's an electrical problem, and it started about 20 to 5 this afternoon and finished about 6:30. So I'm quite tired. It always leaves me tired like the next day, so yeah, apologies for what I look like. I left most of my dinner today, and then went back to it because I can't really eat when it's going on. So then I kind of left it and then put it in the microwave and had the rest later. But I've kind of lost the day really, or at least the afternoon, and don't really feel like doing very much after an attack. So yeah, I'm a bit hungry, so I've picked up this little pudding out of the cupboard. It's a little jam pudding that you stick in the microwave from Tesco. So I'm going to have that now. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you, and I will make it part of a bigger video. Bye. So yeah, as I mentioned in the video, SVT is a type of abnormal heart rhythm or arrhythmia. some people would say irregular heart rhythm. That can be a bit misleading because, you know, that implies that there's irregular spacing between the heartbeats, which in my case and in a lot of cases that isn't the case. So when I have an attack, my heartbeat to listen to sounds very regular, just like doom, doom, doom. But actually it's the electric circuit which is taking an abnormal route around the heart, and means the heart isn't actually pumping properly. So that is what causes symptoms such as lightheadedness, tight chest, feeling of heaviness in the legs I get as well, and some people even faint through it. So without getting too technical about all this, there are 3 types of SVT. There's AV-NRT, AVRT, atrial tachycardia. So that's the 3. And then I think maybe atrial flutter comes into the umbrella as well. And it's actually atrial tachycardia, which is the one that they suspect I have. And that is actually the most rare one out of all of them. It accounts for about 5 to 15% of all types diagnoses of SVT. And so in each different type of SVT, the faulty electrical circuit takes a slightly different route or originates from a different part of the heart. So to explain it simply, the heart's made up, as you probably know, of 4 chambers, 2 atria at the top, 2 ventricles at the bottom. And in SVT there's an area of the heart which fires off these rogue electrical impulses which cause the wrong type of circuit. So in atrial tachycardia, which is mine, the rogue impulse comes from a piece of tissue somewhere in the atria, in the top part of the heart. In AV-NRT, the rogue impulse comes from what's called the AV node, which is in a different area of the heart, and it's like a bundle of nerves. And the current comes from that node and goes around in quite a small circle, from what I can gather, and goes round and round and round like a short circuit. In AVRT, from what I understand, the current takes a longer route, so around the atria and down to the ventricles. So yeah, it's quite complicated. And yeah, it actually tends to start very abruptly, just with a sudden thump in the chest and a bit of flip-flopping, and then it starts within seconds and also ends abruptly too. And not only that, it's very unpredictable. There are certain triggers such as stress, anxiety, anger, and things like sudden movements, so jolting, twisting, or bending down, bending over, anything like that can suddenly seem to just kick it out of rhythm. But sometimes there seems to be no real trigger at all. You just be sitting watching the TV and suddenly bam. And it can go on for hours, minutes, many hours sometimes. So obviously that is quite unnerving, not knowing when it's going to start. And it makes me very wary about going places on my own. If I do go anywhere, then it's not far away at all, and I will always take my phone with me to make sure I can ring someone if I was to get stranded. And I also have my own heart monitor actually on my iPhone. This is what it looks like. So it's got 2 electrodes on it. You place your fingers on it and it will actually take an ECG heart tracing of your electrical activity. So it's not just the heart rate, it's what your heart's actually doing. And that's really reassuring actually, to have that and to know when it's gone in and out of the correct rhythm. So I can actually tell that by looking at what's called the QRS complex. So you know the little zigzags that you see on an ECG machine. Normally at the beginning of each one of those there's like a little tiny bump. It's called a P wave, and on my ECG, when I'm in that abnormal rhythm, they disappear from the tracing, so you can't see them, and that is an indication that I'm in this wrong rhythm, along with my symptoms as well. I think the first time it happened to me, I felt this flutter, which I had felt before in my younger days, but this time it didn't disappear, and we took my pulse rate. It was 150 beats per minute, and by the time we got to the hospital it was 180, and this went on for about 4 hours. I was hospitalised a couple more times. I was sent to resus once, not because I was on my back or anything, but just because obviously they were a bit worried. And then the third time they actually captured it on an ECG and diagnosed it, and the doctor said, I can't believe this has been going on for as long as it has. I was then referred to a cardiologist, and then an electrophysiologist, which is like a heart electrician, and I was put on beta blockers. I'd actually already been on those for another reason, and they do help to control it. She did want to put me onto an antiarrhythmic drug, and also she offered the opportunity of what's called an ablation operation, and that is where they get an electrode, put it up an artery in the groin, feed it all the way up into the heart, and then they use radio frequency waves to actually burn off the tissues which are causing the rogue impulses. At present I'm trying to avoid having that done because I've got other health issues, which is a whole nother video, and would know how much it would affect me, so I am trying to avoid that at the moment unless it gets worse. And I'm managing it with lifestyle, so no caffeine, no chocolate, no coffee, Coca-Cola. I'm just trying to avoid stress and obviously bending and stooping a lot and that sort of thing. In terms of how it affects me, obviously day to day it's restrictive. I try not to let it stop me from doing the things that I am able to do though, because I figure that, you know, you can make life a special kind of hell for yourself or not, and I do choose not where I can. You could have a really good day without that happening, and so you don't want to be ruining that with worrying all the time. But of course it is scary when it does happen. Even now it's scary. But I have had a lot of success and good experiences with something called NLP, which you probably know is neuro-linguistic programming. Sorry about all the big long mouthfuls in this video, but that is very much focusing on, you know, positive language and positive thoughts, which although they're not going to get rid of the condition, they do kind of help you to moderate how you respond to things. And I think that if you negative self-talk and saying things to yourself like, oh my god, this is terrible, I'm so frightened, etc., can actually make you panic even more. So I do try not to do that and not to think about it for the rest of the time when I'm not having an attack. Yeah, I've had it happen in a few unusual places. So I had it happen once while I was sitting watching an ice hockey match, and I've had it happen at a family barbecue, and that was really embarrassing because we had relatives from Australia over, so that was like a huge reunion. I've also had it happen whilst browsing around a little craft fair, and just I've had to cancel several appointments and engagements I've had with people over it as well. So yeah, it is a nuisance, but there are worse things happen at sea. And I hope this video has been informative to you and interesting. Didn't know much about SVT, and if you do have it yourself, I hope that you feel a bit less alone having watched this video. I do empathise. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It's not all doom and gloom on this channel by any means. Do check out my other videos for day trip vlogs, fashion, beauty and art videos, and also some relaxing ASMR, because I do believe that relaxing is so important, so that's also part of my channel. Thanks again for watching.